Yes, hi. This is Ed Moulton from ERM Performance Tuning. On behalf of HP Tuners, I'm providing a tutorial for you on how you would interface your wideband into the standard MPVI. Where the Pro has the inputs on the side, we need to come in through two different sensors, one of them being either the AC pressure sensor or the EGR. In this particular example, we're going to be using the AC pressure sensor, and so it begins by providing two important pieces of information to the software, and that is within the channel we need to input and make sure that we add the pressure sensor that we've selected, as well as a commanded AFR ratio. This example is AFR, but if you were using lambda, then you would put the EQ or the commanded lambda value here as well. We then have to transform these. Now normally if you selected um, a normal channel, you could transform it automatically through HP Tuner, so we have to then do it manually. So the manual transformation takes place by selecting Tools, Math Properties, or Parameters rather, and then coming into, and we're going to create our own. So in this particular case, we're going to come down to Math User. You're going to find your first available spot. I've already completed these just for um, expediency, but when you clicked on this, this would all obviously be blank. You would input your name, abbreviation, any notes that you might have, and then you would begin the process. And the process begins by hitting New Variables. In New Variables, it's going to take you to the parameter selection list. You're going to find the AC pressure sensor parameter. You're going to click on that, double click on that. That's going to bring that into here, and what you will then see is the bracketed 7101, which is the AC pressure sensor, and then the dot 10, which says it's in volts. We then have to complete the equation, and the equation is completed simply by going to your wideband card or manual and finding out what your voltage range is versus what the range of AFR in this particular case would be. To create the first number, you're going to take the maximum value minus the smallest value. You're going to end up with a value that's about 9.98, and then you're going to um, divide that across the 5-volt range just so you can find out what that is, and that value is going to come up to be 0.5. Okay, you're using 0.5 because the voltage range was 0 to 499. Okay, so that's kind of simple. So we have 0.5 relative to the first number, and then the second number is going to be the value of the smallest value at that point. So we can go back to where we're at, and you can see that the equation for the transform then is we take the voltage, we divide it by the 0.5, which is the voltage and range, and then we're going to add the lowest value. In this particular case, we said it was a 10, but this is the value, this is the area where you can actually make adjustments for any differences between what you're seeing in the HP Tuners side and what you're seeing on your gauge, to correct for any kind of analog offsets or things of that nature. So in this particular case, we had to come down 0.7 in order to get them aligned. So that's where you would do that. So once you completed that, then we need to create an error because we can't again use the embedded because we're outside the software. Same thing, right? We're going to come in here. You're going to create an error. The calculation for error is 100 times your wideband value minus your commanded divided by the commanded. And so we're going to create this exactly the same way you did before. You're going to hit new variables. We're going to go find the pressure sensor. We're going to get the pressure sensor. Now, an important note here is that you cannot reference a math parameter within a math parameter. So in this particular case, you would then have to replicate that initial AEM wideband math parameter you set up. So that's why you see that we've written it again. So you would copy that into this. Then you would then have to go find the commanded air-fuel ratio that we said. You can do that again through new variable. Find in your parameter selector, hit a minus 6001. Close the brackets just to make it look a little aesthetically clean, and then divide it by commanded, and then you can actually just retype this because you know what it was before. We're talking about a percent, and we want a maximum of 3 decimals. So we're all set. And you'll see there that the values that you've commanded up in here, the 7101 is the ID for the pressure sensor, and the 6001 obviously is for the air fuel commanded. So now you've got everything that we need now to display and to log the air fuel error. And by bringing them into the chart, which is a very simple task as well, when you come into a group, right, this wouldn't be here, so you do the parameter setting, and most, I'm sure that everybody can understand how to bring in the parameters. So in this particular case, you're just going to go to the parameter selector list and get the air fuel commanded that you had previously, right? The only difference in this particular case is when you get to the wideband and the wideband error, instead of, you're still going to find them in the parameter selector list, but you're going to scroll down to the bottom, you're going to find the math parameters, and then within the math parameters, you're going to find the user defined, and when you click on the user defined, you're then going to find the two math parameters that you set up, the AEM wideband and the AEM wideband error, all right? And you're going to double click them, bring them in, and set up as you would set them up, as you were setting them up, which is similar to what you did in 224. And then you will then have displayed to you your air fuel commanded, your wideband, and your wideband error. And you're basically done. Now the next thing is to get them into a graph, and that's pretty simple as well. You're going to right click into graph layout. It's going to open up this particular editor for you. Again, this will not be here. You're going to click on, you're going to add a new graph. You're going to go get the parameter. So again, this is kind of the same. You're going to go find the error that you want to plot, right? So the plotting error is AEM wideband V, and that we find in the math parameters. And then you're going to, these are filters, which we don't need to discuss right now. But you're just going to bring these in like you normally would. The column axis and the row axis are found by going to your specific file, your editor file, and in this particular case, doing the VE, you would come in and open up your file. Well, come over to edit, you'd hit virtual VE, and then those values would be sitting in your VE table, all right? And essentially you right click on those, you find the column axis, you copy labels, you come back to the scanner, you come over to your table, you right click and you paste, making sure that obviously you've selected the parameter as well from the parameter selector list. Exactly the same that we kind of did in 224 if we didn't have a table that was available to us. So that will set that up, and then what you'll see then is you'll see your XY axis here, and you'll find your error in here. To do a math, basically the same thing, right? We want to right click, do graph layout. We're going to go find the math. We're going to find the error, same parameter, math parameter that we were looking for before. And then we're going to come down here. We're going to go find the frequency in the parameter selector list, right? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come over to the editor. All right, let's close this out. I had this open before. We're going to find the math parameters as far as hertz go. We're going to right click. It's going to be a column axis. We're going to copy labels. We're going to come back. We're going to come into here and we're going to click it. I'll do this one for you. All right, I'll redo this. Paste. And okay, so I guess you can see that it's not that difficult to set this up, and if you just follow the video and the tutorials which have been put up as well, there's Carson has done a great job putting together some tutorials as well as far as the graphics side of it. So between graphically seeing it and actually watching it performed, I think that it should make your process a lot easier and make your migration to version 3.0 just a little bit calmer, I guess it could be. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them up on the forum, and we will see you on the next tutorial. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.